Thank you, Chair, Commissioner, dear colleagues. The signal coming from this report to the EU negotiators is quite clear. The EU negotiator needs to go back to the drawing board. The negotiating mandate does not reflect the views of the public and indeed not the views of this Parliament. The public interest has not been sufficiently taken into account. Europeans are opposed to the liberalisation of public services through TiSA. They are opposed to ratchet and standstill clauses and other measures that may limit our democratic right to regulate in the public interest. Challenging the Commission's negotiating strategy in TiSA is therefore an important achievement of this report. But for this Parliament to really be taken seriously as a voice of the people in this negotiation, we have to become bolder. We have to clearly reject any agreement that isn't firmly based on a positive list approach. We have to be consistent in the criticism formulated in this report in demand for the EU negotiating mandate to be changed to adopt the Parliament position. If that doesn't happen, the Commission has to be sure that we will be prepared to reject TiSA. There is still no convincing reasons for abandoning the multilateral approach in favour of closed-door negotiations between individual countries. These agreements put developing countries at a disadvantage because they don't have a seat at the negotiating table. Civil society has even less access to the TiSA negotiations than on TTIP, and in their analysis they have had to rely quite heavily on leaks. Leaks of the e-commerce chapter in particular have raised many red flags. We must not let TiSA undermine the fundamental rights to privacy and data protection. We must not let TiSA undermine our ability to ensure fair competition and consumer protection, for example through rigorous net neutrality provisions and the right of users to use any technical equipment they choose to access the Internet. These are laws that are still being developed to some extent and where it's important that we don't let ourselves be locked into a trade agreement that will limit our ability to safeguard our digital rights.
Gracias.